Hello, I'm Minch Panal, and today I bring you another video. Today we are doing a Red Corsair's Reave Captain. I'm using this model as a reference point because I have not touched the Red Corsairs at all. And I saw this model and thought, this has different potential. One is another crossover character that I've done for the series, for the channel, and the other is a Snow Wolf. I was going to say Space Wolf. It's not a Space Wolf. Snow Wolf, one of my homebrew chapter of the Space Wolves. Okay. So those ideas are floating around in my head, and seeing how I can make those happen, we will see. Now, let's get into it. I hope you guys enjoy. Starting his kit bash. Well, I say kit bash. I wouldn't call it a kit bash, but some might. The Red Corsair's Reave, I believe it is, or Reaver, I believe it's Reave Captain, is the base model. Now, the only thing I really do, I originally wanted to try and change his base, but determined that would be a bit too tricky, so I gave up on that during that process. To be honest, probably the better option, since this is the only Reave Captain I've got, so best keep it pretty simple. So my only additions to this really are very minute. Some would say not even worth bothering with, and I can see why, but I wanted to give this Red Corsair a hint of possibly a past. So my lore for this one particularly is a renegade Space Wolf that has joined Blackheart in his crusade and therefore given up his wolfy attributes of his armor to be a part of their team. As you can see here, if I worked it a bit more, it would have probably came off, or if I just tore apart the base. But I didn't want to damage the base too much, so definitely an option if you want to do it. I would probably recommend cutting a bit more than what you need, but I gave up on that and just started cleaning bits. Also, the mold lines on this model are a bit egregious in my opinion. They weren't horrendous, but they weren't great either. Especially the sprue tabs where they were located were a bit The only one I really liked the location of was the one for the front leg with the actual Red Corsair's fist pattern on the shin. That was the only place I was like, okay, that one there has like no mobile lines because of the way they've done it. But the rest of it was just definite improvements could have been made. But other than that, it went together pretty well. Again, it's like, there's pretty much none on the shin, but of course there are some. So definitely keep that in mind. If some are better than others, I will definitely mention. There is a distinct difference between certain sprue tab areas and non-sprue tab areas. Working through this model, I actually found it was quite fun to do. It was a bit odd to do because I don't do... Oh. I've never heard of the Red Corsairs until they came out with Blackheart, so it was an interesting thing doing a small amount of research. I really did not do much, but a piratey Space Marine Renegade Raptor is pretty cool in my opinion. Though of course there will be people like, they don't like it, but that's fine. I mean, like it or not, it's there and it's pretty cool, to be honest. My other grief was this placement of this arm. Now, I didn't hate it, surprisingly. I actually liked it more than I thought I would. But the weapon option was a bit too heretical for me, so I decided to go for a bit more of a modified variant to keep it a bit more Mark 10 if I can. So what I do is take the plasma weapon and adjust it to a more modern one. But we'll get to that when I finish this little section. Now, this is the first sort of major kit bash. I take this tailpiece and drop it like a dickhead. Yeah, I said it. I don't like trying to censor myself because it's... but YouTube don't like me, so... Oh well. We'll see how well... Let's see if they nuke my video from orbit. But yeah, basically I take this little wolf tail just to be a little bit of like a nod to his past. Or my one specifically's past. But I'll paint him up as just a standard... red corsair, because I'm not too worried about it. Like, it's a good model, it'll work out. And surprisingly, it has a Space Wolf patch, like the patch from the Blood Claws, so that surprised me. So it actually kind of worked out a little bit too well, some would say, but definitely, if you wanted to, you could absolutely convert this into a really nice looking Space Wolf. You just have to try and... I'm not 100% sure if intercessor legs would work on this. Like the shin part, I don't know if they would actually work well or not. But it is definitely an option. It would just need... I need to do a bit more research and comparison before I tried. Which is kind of why I got this model and did it the way I did. It was literally just like so I could see what parts are what. And sort of get myself a physical representation. I also take this crude knife and the round and just cut off the round. So I have this, like, fishing knife. I mean, they're piratey. Can't blame a man for thinking, oh yeah, it's fish. It looks like an interesting fishing knife or like a descaling knife. Actually, I'm pretty sure there is a knife that looks like that for fishing. I can't be sure. I'm sure there's a fisherman out there that would know better, more than I would. But, yeah. Thought, why not? I attach it to the base. Pretty much finishing off like the base. Well, the base is pretty much done. It just needs some texture paste. But I do add in some skulls for the base to make it a bit more interesting. But yeah, nothing too crazy. It is a generally nice model. It just is a bit cleanup intensive. That I'll say. There is definitely some differences between this model and other models. Like an intercessor, they're pretty okay. They're not too bad. They're not great, but they're not too bad. Like this particular tab here, it doesn't sit right in how the sword sits, if that makes sense. In the way the sword sits on the model, it doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Shoulder is sitting like that, but the sword sits out there. But then you look at the shoulder pads, and the only one that you can really do for adjustment is the other shoulder pad with the Red Corsair logo on it. And that just feels a bit limiting. I know it's like a semi-monoposed model, but yeah, my main kit bashes are literally just adding on the crude knife, the fur tail, the Mark 10 backpack, and this, modifying the plasma pistol. Removing anything that's like majorly chaotic about it, and then just cutting it off. Preserving the hand, of course, because you need to keep the hand. And popping it off, cleaning it up, and I grab a Mark 10. Do the similar thing, swap out the hands. I know some people will say you could just cut out the hand. I really don't want to have to deal with like carving around the details on this arms, so I just thought, I mean the bracer, I'd much rather not do that, so I didn't. I went the lazy route and the easier route. And now I got a snazzy looking chaotic plasma pistol, so I'm not too worried. Now I will say my focus for my camera has been a bit I don't know why my camera will not just focus on something I select or have told it to focus on. It annoys me so much. I understand it's a phone, but So you get a great, really close shot of my hand, because I can't keep anything in frame apparently. But yeah, basically just attach the KLC bits to the model in similar ways to the original, or well, pretty much the same way as the original. Then using some sprue glue, just glue, just to kind of add a little bit of damage to it so it looks a bit interesting. And that's what I call it done. Well, building at least. And then I grabbed the less KLC looking helmet from the Reave kit, which looks awfully like a Blood Claws helmet. Mark 7 helmet, so it's alright. But to be honest, this is a nice model, and I can't complain too much. Army Painter Matte Black, Game Color Scarlet Blood. I use this as a base coat for a really nice deep red. Well, dark red I guess. Just to start it off. I'm going to drastically highlight this up because I want some nice vibrancy and saturation. Also, surprisingly, painting red is really hard when you can't see the difference between one red and another. Thank God they have labels. Game Color Scarlet Blood. I use this as my first highlight, just hitting on basic areas and keeping some in the recesses. Of course, I can't keep it on frame because I'm horrendous and I need to adjust my camera stand. Because I knocked it the other day and forgot to set it, so my bad. Now using Army Painter Matte Black, I start going around the trim and anything that is not supposed to be red. Because I'm going to do the next highlight with a paintbrush. So I slowly work my way around the model. To be honest, this is an amazing sculpt to paint. Everything's within reasonable reach, though my only gripe is the cape. If the cape was detachable, it would have been detached, because that was a pain to paint with the way it was. Army Painter Fluorescent Orange, Game Color Fluorescent Orange, and Scarlet Blood. I use this combination for the extreme highlight, just trying to base out all the little details here and there. And it gives this really nice saturated red, especially when you look through it properly when you're going through like the reveal shot of the camera. It looks good. Army Painter Matte Black, Model Color White Glaze. I use this and go over the entire base of the model. My goal is to get a base coat. Now, halfway through doing the base, I realized I wanted a bit more contrast. A bit more complementary colors to this model. So I do change out the non-Aquila stonework into Alien World. Add more white glaze, because the best way to do this is slowly highlight by adding more and more. And it's easier to highlight from dark using adding white than it is the other way around. Trust me. Start with black, add a little bit of white to it. Or add an absolute crap ton of black in there and then slowly highlight with the white. With like drop after drop. Then adding more white glaze, you dry brush it over the rest of the base. Sort of giving you that fresh crack, that like semi brand new stone. And I also dry brush it over the furs to help highlight them as well. I talk a lot. I wonder why that's not. It's because I'm closer to the mic. There we go. Add more white glaze, just to help accentuate everything. This one here is more of a line highlight and just kind of target the edges. Don't be too like worried about it. Just slowly work your way around and just sort of use a dry brushing mixed with line highlighting on the base. That's pretty much it. Correction, that's what I do. Add more white glaze to your mix. This is where I actually really like this grey fur because it actually looks really nice in my opinion. Is it crazy and complicated? No, but it looks pretty damn good. Personally, cannot complain too much. Army Painter Matte Black, Game Color, Glorious Gold. I use this as a base coat for gold ornaments, which is the belt buckle, the aquila, the fur thing, the handle of the scimitar or the sword. I'm pretty sure it's a cutlass, but no, it's not a cutlass. It'd be... I don't know what... I'm pretty sure that's a cutlass mixed with a scimitar sort of situation going on. Or, what's the Mongolian sword? I can never remember the name of it. Game Color, Glorious Gold is the highlight. Over all the gold items. I tried my best to focus at the above areas, just to give him a bit more... I'll keep him looking nice. Like the sun is glinting down on it, that's kind of the goal. But you can definitely go. You can definitely just go with one coat and be perfectly fine. Citadel Base Dryad Bark. I use this for the leathers. Now you will notice I don't touch the tabard or the cape for a while. That's because I'm going to do them grey. And apparently I'm still not doing this correctly. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to do the cape grey, leathers brown, and sort of work it in that way. Of course, with the Dryad Bark, hit all the skulls. I missed the ground ones because I'm an idiot. Citadel Base, Lupercal Green. Citadel Contrast, Striking, Scorpion Green. Using this mix, you get a nice, deep, rich green. And it works really well for like the beginning of lenses. Like, and then also plasma. I've done it for this plasma because it's chaosy. So it's not necessary. You could have absolutely gone blue. I didn't, so yeah. I also hit the ends of the cutlass blade, so that's pretty cool. Citadel Base Nagaroth Knight. This is where I kind of changed up my idea of what I wanted for the base and decided to go an alien base like my Blood Angel from Monday. Yes, Monday? Yes, Monday. I have videos scheduled. I am trying my best to remember things. But yeah, because I really like the way the red look with that. Army Painter Weapon Bronze. But yeah, I really like the alien world mixed with this blood red, or this like reddish tone. Now this one here is a lot more highlighted than the Blood Angels, so if you want to, you can absolutely use this paint scheme for Blood Angels. Well, the red recipe. But yeah, it is very nice. Army Painter Weapon Bronze, Game Color, Glorious Gold. I mix it 50-50 and then you go over the bullet casings, just give them a highlight. Nothing too crazy. And yes, you can see there is a third bullet casing there in the middle of the aquila. I do come back and fix that. I didn't see it in the beginning. Putting a little bit of model color into the eyes, just being very careful. Now, am I great at doing that? No. But yes, definitely be very careful. Then using the same model color, model color white glaze, add a little bit of water to it to make it a bit runny. I used a little bit too much. So you just want to be careful and make more of a contrast and a wash, like I did. So you can get these really nice pure white looking additions. Army Painter Warlock Purple. I use Warlock Purple and dry brush it over the base to give it that more alien world effect, and to complement the red really bloody well. Many people that know color theory will notice that I used two complementary color. Well, I've used a complementary color. Geez, I can't say it. And an opposing color for this model, which is the red as the main color, green as the opposite of the opposing color, and purple and magenta being the complementary. Citadel base lead belcher. I use this for the metal. I do come back in and highlight these later on. But yeah, my goal with this is just going to make a really nice looking and flowing base. So you got the green for the pop, the purple for the contrast, and it just makes the whole everything pop and look really nice in my opinion. Though, do not restrict yourself to complementary colors. Definitely use the color wheel to its fullest extent. Citadel contrast, striking scorpion green. Would this look better if it was a little bit more focused on what I was doing? Probably, but it looks good enough for me. Now, if I didn't mess up the ratio, this would have looked really nice, but I did, so it's a bit disappointing. Now, using Citadel base Granite Steel as a highlight color for the metal to add sharp edges and make it look like it's been well maintained, because surprisingly, I did do research on pirates, and they do actually maintain their blades pretty damn well. Actually better than most Imperial soldiers did in the time. Or naval soldiers. Like British and yeah. Army Painter Leather Brown. Using a dry brushing and edge highlighting method, I make these leathers look real nice. Can I complain? No. I use my tried and true recipe of leather brown with dryad bark, and then using monster brown as a final highlight. Does it look like real leather? It's okay. Model color US Desert Armor. I use this for the base coating of the skulls. All the skulls. Using a semi-dry brushing method. I'm trying my best to like not hit the recesses too much, because I want to keep the brown in the recesses, but of course I do mess that up a little bit, so I have a solution for that. Is it a great solution? No. Is it a solution? Yes. Model Air Ivory. Just slowly highlighting the skulls. Try my best to keep it all smooth and not too crazy. I will admit, this model did probably take me more than it should have. I worked on this model for probably 2.5 days, give or take, I think, yeah. Model color white glaze. I use this as a final highlight and just go over the tops of the skulls to give them that nice little sheen, and then that's done. That finishes off for me, and I am royally happy. You will notice I do have some slight extra white going on, which is like the plasma pistol's got white again, and the sword has some lightning bolt starting. That's because I came back in and got an actual proper ratio for the white and used it. Using Citadel base contrast striking scorpion green to finish off these models to give them that proper pop of color that I wanted originally. And do they look chaosy? Absolutely, and very hot. So hell yeah. Let's be honest, I'm only human. We all make mistakes here and there, so don't beat yourself up if you make a mistake here once or twice. Like I do quite often. Game color fluorescent blue. I use this for the power pack, specifically the upper engines. Like, this guy is not fully corrupted, but there is definitely chaos tainted. There is chaos in the air, but this marine has not fully fallen. Most likely because he's a space wolf in my eyes, but That's me. Army Painter Matte Black Model Color White Glaze. I actually started a fresh batch of this one, even darker than my original, and just start working on this model. As you can see, I did try and paint it earlier. I wasn't happy with the way I did it, so I've come back in and restarted it. Because I used the original one and it wasn't great. Definitely recommend if you're going to do black, just go grey. It's so much easier. Add more model color white glaze to that really dark dark grey mixture, and just slowly highlight, very slowly highlight. Now what you're seeing is one coat, but I've probably used 3 or 4 coats just to get this color to start showing. Just take your time. Get a hot drink or a cold drink, depending on what the weather's like, and just pop on some, like a podcast or music, whatever. Add more white glaze and just slowly work your way through. Because I can guarantee you this, the camera looks good now. When you try and do reveal shots, it changes drastically because it's got different lighting. I know some people have said just put my turntable on my desk where I paint, and I mean it could work. The issue is that I have a setup already ready to go for most models, so it's a bit Add more white model color white glaze and just slowly highlight again. I decided to go for a very dark grey for the cape and the cloth. Is it amazing? No. Does it work? Yes. Am I happy with it? Yes. Does it show up on camera very well? It depends. There are certain times it does, other times it don't at all. So yes, definitely be aware of that. Army Painter Dark Tone. I use this to kind of darken it down a bit more, to sort of separate it from other aspects of the model, specifically the fur, which is also grey, or almost white. It's like a really dark white or a dirty white. Don't take that out of context, my god, that would look bad. But, well, actually I say that, I mean I'm white, so, maybe. Be nice. Final results, let's go. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell so you never miss another video. And if you really enjoyed this video, please check out my Discord down below. I'm trying to build a community. I don't post huge amounts there because I'm trying not to spoil videos, but I do post to a degree. It's just like at the moment the server's so small, it's kind of pointless because no one sees it. So yeah, your help with the server would be greatly appreciated. Alright, thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll hopefully see you next time. So, goodbye.